everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome back to the Ranking the Victim's Death by Freddy Krueger's Hands. So I'm actually on the remake. Now, before anybody's going to put this in the comment section and ask me where is Freddy versus Jason, I decided to kind of switch these around and do the remake first and then finish off this franchise with Freddy versus Jason. We actually have 4 kills in this remake here. Just exactly the same as the original. When it comes to the kills and the build-up, I will definitely say I really do enjoy at least one or the other. Really, my number 4 is the only one I would say I like one or the other, and the other ones I think are actually really good. I would definitely be kind of curious, how would you rank all 4 of these from worst to best or best to worst, however you want to do it? And then, what do you think about the build-up and the kills? Do you like them? Are you disappointed with any of them there? Put all that stuff in the comments section and we shall discuss it. Let's get ourselves started. Number 4 is going to be Jesse. So you got Jesse in jail. We get, the door actually opens up to his cell. It's a security guard that says, okay, pal, you can get yourself out of here. Your parents actually paid your bond. So he actually gets himself out, slowly starts walking down the hallway. The lights are actually flickering above him. At one point, I think it goes completely dark. It lights back up. Jesse turns around, and it turns out that there's just another wall. It's like closing in on him. No security guard is actually there. And I believe the lights go out again, and then next thing you know, he's actually in the boiler room, and he starts like running down some steps. We got like these 2 little girls that are kind of just looking at Jesse while he's walking past the camera. And then he actually sees Freddy. He starts actually running the other way. He stops because he sees Chris's dead body, and then Freddy's behind him. Freddy says something. Jesse actually falls to the ground there, gets really scared. Freddy pretty much tells him to stand up, so Jesse does stand up with his eyes closed, and then he actually opens them, and he's looking around, and he has no idea, like Freddy just disappeared. And then we actually get Freddy's arm, of course, with the claw right through from his back through his stomach. And then we get back to reality, and there he is actually on the ground, bleeding. And then there's another prisoner that sees this and freaking out here. And I will definitely say the build-up was really good, but the death was very weak. Number 3 is going to be Chris. So you got Chris, she's actually sleeping. She hears the dog barking, so she gets herself out of bed. She is in the kitchen, and then she goes into the backyard, and she's calling the dog's name, and she's looking around for like a minute or 2. Then she notices that the dog is actually dead, and then she sees Freddy, and Freddy has that, in my opinion, famous line, "I was just trying to pet him." She runs back into the house, but as soon as she gets in the house, she ends up in a preschool. And then we have a little girl that actually comes over, which could be her whenever she was in preschool, grabs Chris's hand and starts walking her through the hallway. And in one room, we see the girls jump roping. And then in another room, she sees Freddy in the classroom. And then she actually is able to wake herself up. She gets herself out of bed, goes into the bathroom. She splashes water on her face. And then she goes back into the bedroom. Then we see Freddy is right beside her, and then very quick right on top of her. She's screaming. Her body is actually shaking. And then Jesse, who's actually sleeping beside her, wakes up and tries to wake her up. She ends up floating up in the air, and then she starts bouncing off the walls, off the ceiling, and then we get the claw marks on her chest and stomach, and then she falls down onto the bed. I will say this, as much as I still think that Tina's death from the original compared to Chris is a lot better, other than this is just taken off of that there, I will give this actress credit, or even if it's her stunt woman bouncing off the walls, that really felt very real. Number 2 is going to be Dean. So this is the opening scene where we have Dean in a diner. It is just him as a customer. There's one waitress actually working. She walks by Dean, and Dean actually tries to get her attention to fill up his coffee cup again. She completely ignores him, and she ends up in the kitchen. So he actually starts following her. He continues kind of saying about, hey, where are you going? I want some more coffee. She continues ignoring him, goes around the corner. He goes and follows her around the corner like several seconds later, and there's Freddy, and actually slashes him down. He wakes up at the diner where he was. There's Nancy. She's a waitress at this diner. It's actually decently full. She pours some coffee for him, says something about if you continue falling asleep, the managers are going to kick you out. So then she walks away, starts waiting on other people. Here comes Chris. And then she goes over and talks to Dean a little bit. And then Dean unaccidentally spills coffee on her. So she goes to the ladies' room, cleaning herself off. Dean is having so much trouble trying to keep his eyes open. He eventually closes them. But then when he does open them, there is Freddy, like standing there. Dean grabs the steak knife. And then Freddy is actually holding the hand that Dean has the steak knife. The steak knife is actually close to Dean's neck. Chris actually comes out of the ladies' room. She sees what's going on. She's getting really concerned. And then Dean stabs himself, well, we think, in the neck and starts slashing his throat. And I was just like, damn, what a good opening. And I could see a lot of people actually maybe picking him as the number one. Number one is going to be Nancy's mom. So you got Nancy and you got Quentin. They're actually in the ambulance. Quentin is actually on a stretcher. Nancy is actually sitting right beside him. Quentin actually slowly closes his eyes. Next thing we got is that we got Nancy's mom and Nancy going into their house. The mom actually says, Nancy, you know, go get some rest. So go right up to bed right now. And hopefully you have yourself a nice good night's sleep. And then the mother actually is standing right beside a mirror. She actually bends over. I think she puts down her purse and her car keys. And then whenever she actually stands back up, there is Freddy's reflection behind the mother. Nancy starts screaming. Here comes Freddy through the glass and then puts two of those claws through the mother's eyes and then pulls her into the glass while Nancy continues screaming. End credits. Now, I will admit that it's a very quick death, and it also is a CGI kill. But I will admit that it's just somehow this is the one that I just really, really like the best. So there you guys go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one here. And I will see you guys in the next one, which will be the Freddy vs. Jason ranking the victim's death. Have yourselves a good one. Bye.